Stephanie, would you mind telling me exactly what you're doing with my husband?
Excuse me? Oh, hello there, Angie. What am I doing with your husband? I'm not sure what you mean.
I mean, what are you doing in my house with my husband Steve at this very moment?
Uh-oh. I guess you're home already, huh?
Yes, I finished my work a lot sooner than I thought I would, so I left work about an hour earlier than usual and I just got home.
Uh-oh. Well, looks like we're busted.
You don't seem to be very worried about being caught like this.
Well, I guess you could say that I'm a little surprised. But just so you know, Steve and I are super duper deeply in love with each other. You know what he told me just a few minutes ago? That he's way happier with a beautiful woman like me than an old ugly hag like you. And besides, I always knew that if I got caught, I could just divorce my husband and poof, problem solved.
Do you really think you can get away with what you're doing that easily?
Of course I do. Steve already said that he'd pay for my lawyer and any damages I had to pay to my husband for cheating on him.
Ah, I see. So that's why you seem so flippant right now. I guess that would make sense. Steve's family is pretty wealthy after all.
I know, right? And this gorgeous house that me and Steve are going to live in together is his, which means it's mine too now.
Well, yeah, it was his family's house.
And now it's gonna be our family's house.
Not that I care, but how long are you planning to stay in there?
Uh-oh, are you gonna try to kick me out now? You can be patient and wait for us to be done, okay? You came home before we were finished.
Aren't you forgetting something? It's summer vacation. School is out right now.
Well, yeah, but so what?
So our daughter, who was playing at her friend's house today, is going to be coming home any moment now, and I am not about to allow my daughter to see her own father messing around with the mother of one of her classmates. Do I make myself clear?
Oh man, what a spoil sport.
Are you dressed right now?
Yeah, I got it. Don't rush me. Hey, wait a minute. I'm looking all around the room, but I can't find Steve's or my clothes anywhere.
Sorry about that. I found your clothes strewn about the living room floor, so I took the liberty of throwing them out into the yard.
You what? What were you thinking?
I was thinking that I didn't want you running away from me.
Ugh, you are super bitter about this, huh? Fine, I won't run away. I'm just gonna go home, so hurry up and give me my clothes back.
Well, I'm terribly sorry to tell you, but that's not gonna happen.
Huh? What is your problem? Why not?
I've known about your relationship with my husband for a little over half a year now.
Wait, you knew? Then, wait a minute, just a little bit ago you were acting like you didn't know. You asked me what I was doing with your husband, but you knew? What was that all about?
Oh, that? Oh, that was just me buying time and stringing you along while I waited for everyone to arrive.
Everyone? Who's everyone?
Everyone. Steve's parents and your parents are with me, and we're about to come inside.
What?
If you don't mind, could you at least cover yourself up with a blanket or towel? And not my good blankets, please.
What is going on, Angie? Ugh, thanks a lot, Angie. I am in a world of trouble now, thanks to you.
Wow, I'm surprised you texted me so soon.
Oh yeah? And what about you? Are you already at your parents' house or whatever?
Yeah, I just got to my folks' house with my daughter a little bit ago.
Well, good for you. While everyone was tearing into Steve and me, you were just putzing around packing up your suitcase. Man, that was some tribunal. They were really ticked at us. But it was all worth it to watch your miserable self walking out of our beautiful mansion, sad and alone. And since the dust is settled, I'm already back in our mansion enjoying some sweetie, lovey-dovey time with my Steve. There's no one to get between us anymore, so we can do anything and everything we want, whenever we want. This is the best.
You seem to be pretty happy with yourself right now, but did you really think that this was all over already?
Do we really need to go through this again? I just told you. Steve is gonna pay me for my lawyer and whatever damages I have to pay you, okay? What is there for me to be worried about? Oh, Steve told me to tell you that he'll just wire a lump sum payment to your account whenever our lawyers come to a settlement.
I was already going to demand that, so he's not going to be able to appear to come out on top of this by pretending he offered to do it beforehand.
What? Oh my god, you are such a bitter old hag. Man, I am so happy I'm not ugly and alone like you.
Keep it coming, Stephanie. Say whatever you'd like to me. Nothing you can say will hurt me.
Oh, we'll see about that. I am about to do all the things for my Steve that you never did for him.
Have fun.
Oh, trust me, we're gonna have lots of fun. Way more fun than he ever had with you. And we're gonna do it in your house, on your bed. Oops, it's not your house anymore, is it?
Oh, good gracious. I'm so very, very sad. So very sad. Absolutely devastated. How will I recover?
I'm more worried about how I'm gonna recover after tonight with Steve. Good morning! Did you sleep well? I didn't. I've got more great news for you. I'm pregnant, and it's Steve's baby.
Wow, that certainly is an incredible thing.
Right? I was feeling kind of sick this morning, and I thought maybe it was because of our fun last night, but I got a test, and it was positive. It's almost scary how this is going exactly like I planned it.
Planned?
Yep, it was my plan all along to get pregnant with Steve's baby so I could get my hands on this fabulous house and all of Steve's money. Now all that's left is for you to divorce Steve and I'll get everything I wanted. And now your part in my little plan is finished, so you can go ahead and just disappear forever.
I see. Well, thanks for that, Stephanie. Now I can finally get divorced.
Huh?
Ugh, I have been so sick and tired of that pathetic loser for so long. You can have him. Oh, and by the way, you should hurry up and get ready to get out of that house as soon as possible.
What are you talking about? I'm not leaving. Why would I leave? This luxurious mansion is going to be our little love nest now. I know you're bitter and everything, but seriously, you're getting to be just plain pathetic. Angie, what's going on here? I just got told that we have to be out of this house by tomorrow. Did you know something about this? What did you do, Angie?
Didn't you know? That house is going to be put up for sale.
The house is getting sold? But why? Tell me what you did right now.
Calm down, Stephanie. I didn't do anything.
I don't believe you. But none of this makes sense. The house belongs to Steve, doesn't it? How could someone just put his house up for sale without permission? You'd better start explaining what the hell is going on here and fast.
First of all, you're wrong about one thing. That house isn't Steve's.
What?
Actually, that's Steve's grandfather's house. His name is on the title and everything.
Wait. His grandpa?
Yeah, his grandparents are currently living in their vacation house in Florida, where they moved after he retired about 20 years ago. He was worried the house would start to fall apart if it was left unoccupied, so he allowed us to live there on the condition that we would make sure it was well taken care of.
Then you lied to me. You told me it was Steve's house.
Scroll up, Stephanie. I said no such thing. I told you it was his family's house. I never said it was Steve's house.
Oh.
You see, it's not my fault that you interpreted what I said incorrectly.
I don't believe this!
It seems like they already have a buyer lined up, and they're planning to bring in the construction crew to start on some renovations in 2 days.
2 days?
Yep, and if you're still there, that's gonna cause a lot of trouble for the real estate company and the workers. So I would recommend you getting your stuff out of there as soon as possible.
This is the worst. I have never been so miserable in my entire life. Why is this happening to me? I don't deserve any of this.
Ugh, what do you want now, Stephanie? Our divorce has already been finalized, and I already got my lump sum payments for child support and your affair, so I have no more reason or desire to speak to either of you ever again.
We packed up our stuff and got out of our house, but we had nowhere else to go, so we went over to Steve's parents' house, and they wouldn't let us in.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. They made it pretty clear that they never want to see Steve or you ever again.
But it gets worse. Then we tried going to my parents' house, and they wouldn't let us stay with them either.
You probably should have seen that coming too, after, well, everything that you did.
After that, we only had one more hope. We tried going to Steve's grandpa's place down in Florida. After all, I'm absolutely gorgeous, and I'm pregnant with his grandchild, so I figured that he would have to help us out. But when we said who we were on the intercom, he ignored us, locked the gate, and shut all the blinds on his house.
Well, Steve's grandpa was in the Marines, and you know their motto? Always faithful? It doesn't surprise me that he'd shut you out after both of you betrayed your families, even if you are beautiful and pregnant with his great-grandchild.
Why? Why is everyone turning their backs on me? Why are they all taking your side? I'm beautiful and stylish. You're ugly and you don't even get your nails done. I should be the one with a rich husband, not you.
What?
I mean, just think about it. Who would a wealthy and a powerful executive want on their arm at a party? Me or you? The choice is obvious. I even got my hair done, just like those women on Real Housewives.
Wait a minute.
Whatever, screw all of them. I'll just have Steve buy a luxury penthouse suite for me. That will show them who's boss. I'll look out the window of my luxurious apartment with a glass of expensive wine in my hand and laugh at all the pathetic little people down below.
Stephanie, Steve's not an executive. He's a mid-level employee.
What?
He's not the company president.
Why not? He's the former president's son, isn't he? Who else would they give the job to?
Well, yeah, our company has a pretty strict meritocratic system in place. They don't allow nepotism. By the way, I'm actually the head of the department Steve was working in.
You?
But in any case, it came out that he'd been messing around with his mistress while he was supposed to be working remotely, so he got fired the other day. Didn't you notice I said the department he was working for in past tense? I thought it was obvious.
He got fired? And what's this about a mistress? He told me I was the only one for him, and now I hear he's messing around with another woman?
No, Stephanie, that's not what I meant. You were the mistress who he got fired over.
Me?
Well, duh, think about how often the two of you have been seeing each other these last several months. Don't you think it's odd that he could spend so much time with you during the day? He was on the clock the whole time.
So, you're saying that I...
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Your affair with Steve is the reason he's now unemployed. Though to be fair, Steve is an adult and should know better than to fool around with his mistress while he's on the clock. Actually, he should just plain know better than to have a mistress, period, but that's another story.
No way.
And another thing. His little stunt where he agreed to pay for the affair and child support in one lump sum payment. Well, thanks to that, his savings have been completely wiped out. And seeing as though his parents are in the process of writing him out of their will, I think you'd better abandon any hopes of accompanying Steve to any high-class parties as a trophy wife for the foreseeable future. Oh my god! There's no point in even being with him anymore! I'll just have to get back together with my ex-husband. Do you actually think he'll take you back? Why wouldn't he? You are currently pregnant with the child of the man you were having an affair with. What self-respecting man would ever take back someone like you? Seriously, get real. Oh, your other children are all staying with your husband too, and it seems like none of them want anything to do with you anymore. This can't be happening. I had the perfect plan. Everything was going right. I was supposed to get the pampered life. I deserve the pampered life. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to take a shower. Here's what happened to the two of them after they got kicked out of their house. In their search for a new place to live, they first went to Steve's parents and then to Stephanie's parents and got turned down by both. After that, they tried going all the way to Florida to beg Steve's grandpa for help, again, unsuccessfully. That's a cross-country trip, so I have no doubt that between travel expenses, food, and lodging, they must have spent around $1,000 to get there. Neither of them have jobs. What were they thinking, spending that much? Unbelievable. After that, they had no choice but to lower their standard of living and move into an old, run-down apartment downtown. Apparently, there are more rats living there than people. Oof, yikes. Now, while both of their parents have officially cut them out of their lives, they're apparently still keeping an eye on them. After all, this isn't just about the two of them anymore. There's also their baby to be worried about. My understanding is that their parents will ensure that the baby, who is the only innocent party, will be taken care of, even if that means eventually having to remove the baby from Steve and Stephanie's custody.
Are you planning on attending my wedding by any chance?
Well, yes, that's why you sent me an invitation, right? I'm assuming that you want me there, otherwise you wouldn't have invited me. Why do you have a problem with me attending your wedding?
Actually, I do. I don't want you at my wedding. I only sent you the invitation because Mom wanted me to. And I hope that you don't plan on bringing that husband of yours either.
His name was written on the invitation. He plans on coming with me. Luckily, he doesn't need to work that day.
Well, sorry, but I don't want either of you to come to my wedding.
Why?
First of all, your husband creeps me out.
Why would you say such a thing about him? You're being rude. What has he ever done to you?
Nothing. But it freaks me out that he only has one real arm.
Yes, Ted has an artificial arm, so what? I don't think that's ever affected you in any negative way.
I'm just saying that it's not a pretty sight to see. I don't want someone like Ted at my wedding. What will the other guests think?
Do you realize how discriminatory you're being right now? You shouldn't talk about other people in this way. Ted is my husband. You should know that it would make me upset for you to say such mean things about him to my face.
Well, I really can't say how I feel to anyone else, can I? It's my wedding and I should be able to choose my guests. I'm sorry, but someone with a prosthetic arm is not welcome.
It's not Ted's fault that he has a prosthetic arm. We're sisters, so I can put up with you saying mean things about me, but not about my husband. I want you to stop. What gives you the right to be so self-righteous? I love Ted, and I won't have anyone saying bad things about him.
How can you love Ted so much? He only has one working arm. Doesn't that turn you off? He's not normal. Why did you go out of your way to marry someone that has a disability? Oh, I guess it's a matter of normal guys not being attracted to you, huh?
Ted is like any other man out there. Why are you discriminating against him because of his arm? Can we change the subject now? I don't want to talk about this with you anymore. You need to grow up for the sake of your fiancé, too. You're 30 years old. You should keep certain feelings to yourself.
I like to be honest and open about the way I feel.
I guess we're gonna have to agree to disagree then. If you don't want Ted and I to come to your wedding, we won't. Are you happy now?
Yes, that's what I want. Please don't say anything about this to Mom, though. I don't want her to make a big deal out of this. To be honest, I wouldn't mind if you were at my wedding. I just don't want Ted there.
I don't know why Ted needs to be punished for something that's not his fault. I hate that you're doing this to him.
It's my wedding day, and I should be able to choose who gets to be there and who doesn't. I'm so happy that my fiancé has both of his arms. And he's really successful, too. He works for a great company, and he gets paid really well. He's working on a really big multi-million-dollar project right now. I'm so proud of him.
I'm glad that you found a man that makes you happy. He may be working on a big project right now, but it's not like he's going to get all the money. He's just an employee.
Oh, shut up. You're just jealous that I'm marrying such a great guy. I can see why you'd be jealous, but don't take it out on me.
I don't think that I'm taking it out on you. I'm just sick and tired of listening to your bragging all the time.
Oh, we're going to have the perfect wedding. You just wait and see. We're both stunning and my fiancé is rich. We're a golden couple. We need the guests of our wedding to be as supreme as we are.
A golden couple? You must be joking. You're a temp at your company.
That doesn't matter because I found myself the perfect husband.
Fine, have it your way. I won't say anything anymore.
One thing's for certain. My fiancé is better than Ted in the fact that he has both of his arms.
Why do you have to compare them? They're different. Do you enjoy being mean to Ted?
I think you two make the perfect couple.
Yes, we are. And not in the way that you think. I'm very happy being married to Ted. I don't think that you're better than us in any way.
Well, believe what you want. I know the truth.
I guess our truths are different then. I'll try to make it to your wedding if I can. I'll let you know once I've decided. If you don't want me there, I'm happy to not attend as well.
I already made up my mind. You can come, but not Ted.
Well, if Ted's not invited, then I'm not going either. Have a great wedding, Helen.
Why are you at my wedding? You said you wouldn't come. And you brought Ted with you. How could you do this to me?
It's more like, how could you do that to Ted? I know that you don't like him, but did you really have to pour wine onto his head? What were you thinking? What you did was unforgivable.
Well, it's your fault for ignoring my wishes. I'm the one that should be angry, not you.
What the hell is wrong with you, Helen?
I told you not to bring your disabled husband to my wedding. How many times do I have to tell you that? You told me that you wouldn't come to my wedding if Ted wasn't invited. Why did you change your mind? You did the one thing I asked you not to do. You brought Ted. Did you want to ruin my wedding? Is that what this is all about?
I did not ruin anything. You're the one that made a scene by pouring wine on Ted.
So you're placing the blame on me then?
You're the one that kicked us out of your wedding even though we didn't do anything wrong. You're the one that should feel ashamed about all of this. I told you that I wouldn't be at your wedding, but Ted was invited as one of the groom's guests and I accompanied him as his wife.
You're not making any sense right now. Why would Ted be invited as one of the groom's guests? I'm sure that he just wanted to take part in this wedding, so he must have lied to you about getting an invitation from my fiancé. Who does that? Well, he should have never come. He doesn't belong there.
You're unbelievable, Helen, and so rude. I'm ashamed to be your sister.
I can say the same thing right back at you. Why did you marry Ted in the first place? Doesn't his prosthetic arm creep you out? I don't ever want to see either of you at the wedding reception again.
Are you sure that this is what you want?
Yes, I'm sure. Now please leave.
We're leaving then. I hope you're happy. Let me just say this, though. Ted is a CEO, and he's one of your husband's big clients.
What?
But I guess it doesn't matter to you. Your husband's the one that's going to have to deal with the aftermath. Your only concern is having the perfect wedding. Enjoy the rest of your wedding. We're leaving now. Bye. I'm also cutting all ties with you. Please don't contact me ever again.
Where are you now? Are you still close by? I need to speak to you. Will you meet me?
I've left and I'm home now.
How did you get home so fast?
Wanted to get home as soon as possible after you threw wine at Ted. And I asked you not to get in touch with me. I'm not your sister anymore.
I know that you're mad at me, but I still need to talk to you. Were you serious when you said that Ted is one of my husband's clients at work? My husband is freaking out because he says that Ted no longer wants to do business with him. He's worried that the big project is going to be canceled as well.
Well, your husband should be worried. Ted only attended your wedding because your husband invited him, but you came over and poured wine on him. Ted has every reason to be furious. Ted is smart to end business with your husband. We want nothing to do with you after what you did to him.
Do you find this funny? I'm in a lot of trouble here. My husband is flipping out, and I don't know what I can do to calm him down. And he doesn't seem to care about our wedding reception anymore.
I see. That must suck for you.
You're my sister. Shouldn't you be more concerned?
I don't consider us to be sisters anymore after the way you treated Ted. Remember, I cut all ties with you.
That's not the point. I'm in a lot of trouble and I need your help. My husband knows about what happened between Ted and I.
I'm not surprised that he did.
And now the project has been canceled too.
I'm sure that your husband is livid with you.
He is. He tells me that he's going to annul our marriage. And I guess our wedding reception is canceled as well.
Well, you saw this coming. You should have never been so rude to Ted.
Will you please pick up my call?
Why should I? I have nothing to say to you. You're not supposed to be contacting me anymore.
I need your help. Please, fix this. I want to talk to you on the phone.
Well, I don't, and I have no intention of helping you. You need to deal with this on your own. I asked you to stop disrespecting Ted, but you did it anyway. This is all your fault. I hope that you learn a good lesson from this. You need to grow up and take responsibility for your actions.
I never expected Ted to be my husband's client. You could have given me a heads up. All I asked was for Ted not to attend my wedding. I don't think that I did anything wrong.
If you think you haven't done anything wrong, then I'm sure it'll all blow over. But I still can't forgive you for making discriminatory remarks at Ted. You're on your own. I need to go now. Bye.
The wedding's been called off. What am I going to do now? I need you to fix this. It's your fault for not telling me Ted was my husband's super important client.
How can you blame me? You did this all on your own. The fact that you don't see that makes you an idiot.
What did you just call me?
All I did was go to my sister's wedding. I didn't do anything wrong. You're the one that deliberately spilled wine on Ted and kicked us out. You need to deal with the consequences of your actions. You really need to grow up, Helen. I'm sure that you now understand that if you badmouth someone, it's going to bite you in the ass. I hope that from now on, you keep that in mind and stop making such stupid mistakes.
Right now, the most important thing for me is saving my marriage. I quit my job, so without my husband, I'll have no place to live. What am I going to do now?
That's not my problem, but I'm sure that neither your husband nor any of the other relatives will take your side.
Be so cold to me. Don't you care about my future at all? Please talk to Ted and apologize to him for me. I didn't know that he was one of my husband's clients.
Why in the world would I do that? I'm on Ted's side and he has every right to be angry. What you did is unforgivable.
But you're my sister. We're family. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
I've cut all ties with you, so we're not family. Please don't bother me and Ted anymore. Why don't you talk to Mom and Dad?
So you're just going to abandon me?
I'm not abandoning you. I need to go. Bye.
I quit my job. What am I going to do if my husband leaves me? This isn't my fault. You should have told me about Ted's work. I don't deserve any of this.
Ted has a disability and it's not something that he wants to be reminded of, let alone made fun of by you. But you laughed at him and poured wine on him. Ted doesn't use his disability to get special treatment, and he's worked very hard. Much more than the average person. You should have never disrespected him. What you did was very wrong. And you deserve every bit of punishment coming your way.
I'm sorry about what I said and did to Ted. I realized how wrong I was.
So you're finally apologizing for your actions? That took a while. Do you realize how long it took you to apologize and acknowledge that this is your fault?
Yes, and I'm very sorry. Will you please talk to Ted now?
If you really felt bad about what you've done, you wouldn't be asking me for any favors. Look, the project's canceled and there's nothing you can do about it, so just move on. Instead of worrying about your failed marriage, you should worry about getting a new job.
Why did I bother apologizing if you're not even going to help me out?
You should be apologizing. You did something wrong. I'm seeing your true colors, and it isn't pretty. I don't have any more time to waste on you. Bye. You must be elated that you were able to kick Ted out of your wedding. Melanie blocked Helen after that and never spoke to her sister again. Helen's husband left her after he found out about what she had done to Ted. Helen had no choice but to move into a shabby apartment and look for a new job. The guests of Helen's wedding saw how she was talking to Ted, and they recorded everything that she said and did to Ted on that day. The video of her pouring wine on Ted went viral after someone posted it on social media. After that, no one wanted to hire Helen, and she was forced to live a very hard life. Helen should never have made fun of Ted's disability. Had she been more compassionate, none of this would have happened to her. The joke's now on her.